In this video, we are going to break down an upcoming massive storm and the heat bubble that will build up as we head into Christmas. And let's get right into this because the forecast is shaping up to be pretty interesting. So here is our breakdown on our satellite right now. Again, we have a large atmospheric river coming into the northwest right now, and this is going to produce some heavy rain, even more flooding. We've already seen a lot of that, and we're going to see a short heat bubble build up in the east, followed by a cold blast coming from the west. We'll break that all down very soon, closer to the middle of the video. But one thing I want to draw your eyes to is our current warnings. If they ever pop up, there they are. And here is everything that we have. We have 218 warnings right now. We have 4 blizzard, 1 heavy freezing spray, 3 winter storm, but here's what I want to draw the attention to. We have 59 of those being high wind risks. And we also have a couple storm, a couple flood risks, even more flood risks, and again, look at this, 127 gale risks. And this is mostly located over here in the central northwest over here, and this is going to be mostly Montana, maybe North Dakota, but mostly the Upper Rockies area is what is going to deal with this. Here is a breakdown on what that might look like over the next little bit. Alright, here is what that might look like over the next little bit. So this is into this evening. We are going to have some weak wind over here in the northern plains and some general wind over here in the east. This will again pass over our lakes as the last of our cold is moving out. But if you look over here, we have a ton of higher wind over here, especially in the same areas that the warnings are in, of course. But this is going to happen around later tomorrow. This is going to be about midday to late day going into tomorrow. And this is widespread wind over Montana down into, let's just say, Colorado area. And it'll start further west, not as strong, but the further east it goes up until Montana, the stronger the winds. And this is going to produce a lot of wind threat there. And this will eventually move into the Dakotas, bringing even more of a wind threat with our system during the late week. Now, our next threat that I do want to talk about is what this big system might actually look like over the next little bit. Here is what we have right now. We have all of these warnings that are going to light up, and we have a small little weather system down in here with some lake effect snow over here in the north. This is not going to be any more significant. You guys are used to stuff like this up in there. It's not uncommon. But yeah, just a little snow, a little cold. But this weak system is going to move out. And as you can see here, our atmospheric river is going to move east. And it's going to become a large storm. Now, one risk that I do want to talk about here is widespread snow, first of all. And then as we head into the 18th at about 9 a.m. Eastern, I believe that is, this is going to really intensify, and we might have a small risk for severe weather over here in the lower Midwest, Central East area, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and this is going to probably mostly stay a wind threat, and that threat is going to move to the east as well. But behind this area of rain and storms, we're going to have some snow potentially in some of the same areas. This kind of a setup is not very common, but when it does happen, it just means that the system is very intense. Now, behind this, we're going to have some cool air, and it's going to cause some lake effect snow over here in the Great Lakes, and it looks like we are going to have yet another atmospheric river. So this is not going to stop anytime soon, and that is why we have a marginal risk of some severe weather here. This is our categorical. We do not have categories yet. But here's what the weather could look like over the next little bit. Our system here, really strong system, gonna bring snow behind. Lake effect is gonna be strong with this one. Move out quite quick. And we're gonna see somewhat of a clipper type system as we head into early next week. And this is going to continue to allow some lake effect snow to linger behind before we have a small little system over here on the 22nd. And again, nothing much happens until maybe, let's see, past Christmas. Oh, look, there's maybe another clipper or something. But the first significant thing I see happening after this weekend storm is on the 27th. So a quiet pattern is going to ensue as we head into next week. And this one actually looks quite similar to the one we're dealing with coming up very soon. But us in the Northwest, we're still dealing with all sorts of snow and rain. Continuous rain battering the coast over and over and over and over. It ain't gonna stop very much. And that snowpack is gonna gain very, very quickly too. But over here in the southeast, we're going to be pretty quiet outside of maybe a couple showers. That is what we're looking at as we head into Thursday. Now, here are our temperature anomalies over the next little bit. Let me get it back over here. This is the leftover cold that we're dealing with. And again, cold with a short cold snap there over there in the Great Lakes, Upper Great Lakes area. That is quickly going to move out. And we're not going to have some well above average temperatures move into the plains and then shift to the east. Basically, everyone's going to get this heat. And right behind this heat is a small little plunge of cooled air. And this is going to be what causes our system. This is going to be very fast moving and not significant. Our warm air is going to move back in as we head into the weekend. Now, moving into Christmas week, we might have yet another short cold snap over here in the northeast Midwest area. But again, that is going to move out. But look at what happens as we head into Christmas. We have very, very warm, anonymously warm, air here, centraled around Oklahoma. But this is going to shift to the east and to the north, potentially breaking records as we head into maybe the day after Christmas. The Friday after Christmas here, it seems it's going to peak there. And a Saturday, it could re-intensify down in here before getting kicked out by some slightly cooler air. And I think we're going to be more in a versatile pattern as we head closer to the end of the month, like the last 3 days in the beginning of January. Now, here's what those temperatures could look like. In fact, we are going to be up in the 40s over here in southern Canada today, which is crazy. And 42 over here, the border of Minnesota and North Dakota. These guys were at negative 22 only on Sunday morning. Just look at this. Negative 22 to 42. That is a 60-degree temperature swing in only 2 days. 3 days? No, 2 days. That is what you call a rapid warm-up. But again, this is going to be kicked away by some cooler air. But actually, we are going to have this stuff actually could reach up here toward James Bay. James Bay could be near the freezing mark as we head into tomorrow. before, again, our cold blast is going to move through, bringing some cooler air as we head into the weekend, but not necessarily for Florida. Florida seems like it will only get affected a little bit and is going to be a very short moving system, albeit widespread in the 10s and 20s up in here. But it's nothing significant because, again, as we move back into our regular pattern, we are going to have heat build up like no one has seen in a long while. And we're going to see 60s potentially up here towards Chicago, maybe even upper 50s in Detroit. And we're going to see it stretch up toward Lake Erie and Ontario. Widespread 70s across the whole South. And this is not going to end until maybe the end of Christmas week, when we may have some cold trying to make an intrusion again. And very interesting thing to note with the Euro model, look at these temperatures as we head into the end. We have extremely warm temperatures down here in the southeast on the 31st, and extremely cool temperatures over here. If we look at our 0Z run, it is showing a more warm pattern, so nothing really to talk about more cool air coming in at the moment. It's just too far out, and we really don't know what's going to happen late December, early January yet. So, again, I'll keep you updated over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very, very soon.